And welcome once again to the Pet Show. If you love your dogs or cats, I'm assuming you do, and you really want to understand their behavior as well as they get yours, or maybe you're just confused about why your dog or cats behave a certain way or how to resolve certain issues they may be having, you know what to do, right? Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show. Tried America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle. You get the idea. This is what we do here on the show. We help people resolve issues with their pets and help pets resolve issues with their people. You know what to do. Hop up. Bring your puppies and kittens with you. It's that time again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. A little bit different show today, and I'll tell you why. I just got back from Los Angeles, and my heart breaks for all my friends and people I know and family that lost their houses and just devastated. But the last few weeks, we've been talking about the fires, and I've had my friend Casey on, and we had a lot of interviews. So what I'm going to do today is the show's a little bit different. You know, normally I open the show by saying, is your terrier doing this? Is your cocker? No. Today, it's your show. Okay, I have some topics I may get into, but it's your show. Today is all questions and answers. So if you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, you want to find out why they behave a certain way. Maybe you don't understand what to do because your dog or cat is behaving a certain way. That's today's show. I'm going into my head, my vault in my head, and I'm going to resolve any issues you may be having with your dogs and cats. That's what today's show is all about. Lots of stuff to give away. Hugs and kisses, Lucy pet food, copies of my books. Great stuff to give away. But more important, a lot of people have been calling me with issues that they're having with their dogs and cats. Maybe it's issues because of the fires. Maybe it's issues because you're stressed out. Who knows? But anyway, that's what today's all about. No major topics, no major interviews, no interviews at all. It's you and me for the next 2 hours doing one thing and one thing only, making life better for you and your dogs and your cats. If you want to give me a call, great time to call me. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. As I said, plenty of time for your calls. I know it's hard to get through sometimes. I know I don't get to all my calls sometimes. If you've been waiting, if you're stressed out, great time to give me a call, whether it be chewing, jumping, barking, digging, scratching, litter box issues, whatever issues you may be having with your dog or cat, or maybe you just want to understand their behavior a little bit better. Great day to give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Now, before I get started, our phones are always starting to get busy. Before I get started, I was in Los Angeles this week. If I sound this way, it's because I was in Santa Monica. I cannot believe this many weeks later, this smoke. I came back with a sore throat and just unbelievable. So, yeah, my heart goes out to everyone out there. I hope most people have been reunited with their dogs and cats. However, I'm going to talk about that for a second here, okay? Just for a second. Why does it seem all of a sudden, like everywhere you go, every newscaster, every waiter, everyone you know is a dog or cat expert? Over and over again, I've talked about that. Now, let me ask a question. Let me toss this out to you guys, okay? That's what I was thinking about as I was driving back from Los Angeles. With the internet, with all the people on TV talking about dogs and cats, so-called professionals all over. It's hard to find someone who's not a dog or cat professional. Let me ask you this. Why is it that every shelter, every rescue all across the country, and you know I speak to people all across the country via my national Canadian show as well. Why is it that all the shelters, all the rescues are full? I know in LA a lot has to do with the fires and stuff, but even before the fires, the shelters were full. And the majority of dogs winding up at shelters are winding up there because of behavioral issues. Can someone tell me why? With all these so-called professionals out there, everyone giving advice from housebreaking to jumping to barking to aggression, why? Why are so many dogs still behind bars at shelters and rescues all across the country? Is the information that bad? My answer, Absolutely. I spent all day yesterday online. Pretty rare for me. I sent my first email not that long ago. But I spent all day online looking at the advice that people were getting. And there were people talking about, well, this is line breeding, and this is how you inbreed to make your dog more aggressive, and this is the breed you should have, and this is an aggressive breed, and if your dog does this, do this. If your cat... Crazy, crazy, crazy information. What scares me is that because the shelters are full, it appears that so many people are actually following that advice. So where do you get your advice from? You can get your advice from a medical perspective from your veterinarian. If you have behavioral questions, have your vet recommend someone they worked with before. Speak to people that you know. But just because someone goes on the air and someone goes on a news station and says, I'm a pet expert, I'm a dog expert, this is what you should do, doesn't mean you should do it. I am so sad and angry, and I'll tell you why. For those of you that don't know me, I've been doing this for a lot of years. I spent the first half of my life up and down the East Coast at every single shelter, from Maine to Florida, the Carolinas, all over. And the shelters were full, but not the same way. And the behavioral issues were not as many as they are now. Are people just giving up on their dogs way too quickly? Or is the advice they're getting? I saw one on the internet, some guy saying, well, this is what you need to do, and whatever you need to do, if you need a prong collar, if you need a shock collar, jerk your dog this way, do this, don't. God, they're part of the family. What are we doing to our dogs out there? If I sound angry, I am angry. I see every morning before 5 o'clock in the morning, I've already witnessed probably 75 to 100 dogs across the country online that are at shelters that are ready to be killed that day because of behavioral issues that never should have been there in the first place. Never should have been there in the first place. Who is evaluating these dogs? What are the qualifications of the person evaluating? What are the qualifications of the person making decisions? I'll give you a quick example, then I'll shut up, okay? Years ago, I did a seminar for the Purina Company. Yes, I did it at Checkerboard Square in St. Louis. What they did is they flew rescue workers from all around the country. I mean, some of the biggest ones from, ASPCA, other organizations, the one in Port Washington, New York, and all of them. And they were all talking about how these people evaluate dogs at their shelters and decide whether this dog should be put to sleep or this dog should live on. And they're all advocating about this woman that used to use a rubber hand and stick the rubber hand in the cage, and if the dog bit the rubber hand, that dog has to be put to sleep. As a matter of fact, they told me a story of her bringing a dog to a seminar, putting the dog on stage, putting the rubber hand in front of him, having the dog bite the rubber hand, and right after that segment, the dog was immediately put to sleep. Shame, shame, shame on you. So, now that I got that off my chest, I'll help you with any issues you may be having, because there's no reason, I shouldn't say definitively no reason, but I would say 99.9%, there's no reason that the majority of behavioral issues that our dogs and our cats have are created by bad information. Bad information. We want too much of them. We got to do this for our dog. Why not just let your dog be a dog? So he chewed his shoe. Doesn't mean you got to put him in a shelter. So he peed on your couch. That doesn't mean you got to have him euthanized. So he chased the dog down the block. Or he doesn't get along with the dog next door. They're part of the family. And after doing this for 45 years, it's finally hit me up here, that what we need is more qualified people evaluating, working, and giving advice. There's some great advice on the internet as well, but I saw yesterday, and that's why I'm so upset, I saw yesterday people focusing, almost every video was a Malinois or a Shepherd or a Ronnie or some other breed, a Presso, being taught to attack or jump high in the air and do backflips and grab a piece of meat off. Why? Why? Can I ask you why? Having trained dogs for the police departments and the military, I know there are certain things dogs have to learn, but not your dog living in Sherman Oaks, California. Doesn't have to speak 3 languages. He's got to learn how to pee and poop outside and walk on a leash and come when you call him. Why? Can someone tell me why so many dogs are filling up shelters all across America and Canada? Why? Why are they filling up these shelters? Is it overpopulation? We know about spaying and neutering. Hopefully we do more of that. Is it because of behavioral issues, people not doing? Or is it just because there's really bad advice out there? Give me a call. You know, I just put my heart out there to you guys. I very rarely do this, but if you want to give me a call and respond or talk about it, we got that show open for you as well. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Sorry I sounded a little angry, but if you look at the eyes and the faces that I see every single day, from Florida to Alaska, you'd be upset and angry too. And anyone who works in a rescue community, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Again, there are some great people out there. Some great, amazing people out there. There's also a lot of people out there that are charlatans. Well, train this way, train that way. Your dog's got to do this. Your dog's got to do that. Come on, guys. Let your dog be a dog so he humps a leg once in a while. Not the end of the world, right? It's a leg. All right. That's enough of Warren. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Great time to give me a call. We'll get to all your calls. Plenty of time to help you out, by the way. Oh, before I do anything, Denise, my wife, just handed me this. Let me see if I can dig it up right now. Do you know, where is it? Come on, Warren. Oh, come on. Where is it? I'll find it for you. I promise. I promise. Let me take a phone call, then I'll find that for you. Let's go to Marsha. I'm calling from San Antonio. Hey, Marsha. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello.
Sorry I had to go off a little bit. I've been a little bit calmer in my life.
Well, that's okay. You brought me to tears.
Oh God, I didn't mean to bring. I just want to see change. I just want to see a smile on dogs. I want to see a smile. I want to see them enjoying life, not being little robots. Let them enjoy life. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Well, I have a cat that I guess you could say I adopted, or she adopted me. I'm not sure. I walked outside one day about a year ago, and there she was sitting on at the front of my porch, and she just went meow, and from then on she had me. But she was not. I don't. She
had you from the first. She had you from the first meow.
Yes, right, and crazy cat. But my question is, for a while, we've had her for about a year now. She's she's just a little over 2, I think. But she didn't do this at first. In fact, she invited herself into our house. She just walked in one day. She said, "Okay, I'm here." But now, when I come home from coming back home from work or from wherever I happen to be out, she doesn't run out usually when I go out to leave the house. But when I'm coming into the house, sometimes she'll run out, and she'll be outside for a while, and then I'll keep calling her, and finally she'll come. I'm just curious as to why she does that.
Well, it could be any number of reasons. As you said, the cat wound up at your house unbeknownst to you. We don't know who had the cat before you, right?
Right.
Okay, so here's my gut reaction. Listen to me carefully here. It sounds to me like the cat has been socialized. It sounds to me like the cat has been around other people before you, from what you're telling me. I believe that when you're leaving, you're setting off trigger points in the cat by picking up a purse, car keys, or whatever, that you're going to be gone. And I think she associates that with in the past perhaps being abandoned.
Okay.
That makes sense to you?
I know that the neighbor across the street knew the cat, and the cat had a different name. That person had given the cat a different name from the name that I gave her. But so she was evidently a neighborhood cat. She was not one that was underfed or
yeah, but now
something like that. It
now
looks
she's
like
living
everybody's
now she's living in the Taj Mahal. She gets 3 square meals a day. Mom takes care of her. I really think that it's a fear that there's trigger points that are happening that when you leave, she associates the fact that you're leaving for a long period of time. I would try to keep her away from getting out. It's way too dangerous out there nowadays for cats. But that's, if you're asking me why she's doing it, that's exactly why she's doing it. It's, I think, the fear of being abandoned again and not having that home.
Because my husband is home all the time.
Yeah, but you're, you know,
he tries. When I come home, I'll call him from the driveway. You know, just let the phone ring a couple of times, and he'll give her some treats and try and keep her in a separate room so she won't try to run out.
Yeah, but again, he's reinforcing the behavior.
Okay.
You're leaving, she's getting treats.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I understand that. Now there's another crazy question.
Let me do this. Let me put you on hold. I got to take a break. We'll come back to you. Rick in Seal Beach, I want to get to you. You have the cat that doesn't eat. I want to talk about cat aggression. And we have Mark in Santa Monica with a rescue dog. He bit his wife, and I'm assuming he's keeping the dog. So we're going to talk to all of you. We have a couple of open lines. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Hey, speaking about the internet and bad advice, what about when it comes to your dog food and your cat food? And the phones are jamming. We're going to get to Rick, Jennifer, Mark, and Phil. But right now, let me get back to Marsha in San Antonio. Hey, Marsha, you with me?
Yes, I'm still with you.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, I've been reiterating what you told me, and the fact that this was a neighborhood cat and was out roaming around the neighborhood, maybe what you need to do is make the inside of your home a lot more interesting and maybe change it every couple of days. You don't have to go buy new furniture, but cardboard boxes and paper bags. Perhaps if you put down some new items before you left, you would distract her and focus her on new items in the house versus you leaving. I think that would be the best approach in the resolution for your problem at this point.
Okay, well, I'll try that. I give her toys. In fact, this crazy cat doesn't really like to play with normal.
I know whether she plays with them or not. Whether she plays with them or not, Marsha, doesn't make any difference. Give them to her. The appreciation, just have them around. Distraction. Also, listen, I'm going to move on. I'm going to send you a copy of the cat book. You didn't tell me. I see San Antonio, Texas. I don't know if I would have picked up the call. You know, that's where I went through basic training. That's where I started training at Lackland Air Force Base Century Dogs. So I'm not taking any more calls from San Antonio today. Beautiful city, by the way. Don't go in there. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your cat to do your own. It's interesting, but when you have a cat that's lived outdoors and that's brought indoors, you have to really take into consideration the stimulation that they need. And there's a lot of other things going on here, but the stimulation that they need, plus the fact that it sounds to me like this cat went from home to home to home, so maybe has a lot of different places it wants to get. But you got to keep the cat in the house. It's the safest place. All right, listen. You guys know, right? You know I moved from Santa Monica a while ago. Dog ownership can cost anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000 daily. Do you know what the most expensive city in the entire country is for taking care of your dog? The most expensive city. Number 5, San Jose. Number 4, Bellevue, Washington. Number 3, Oakland, California. And number 2, San Francisco. The most expensive city to own a dog in the entire nation is Santa Monica, California. Not making that up. It's right here. The most expensive city to own a dog is Santa Monica, California. All right, let me get back to the phone lines here. Let's go to Rick in Seal Beach, one of my old hangouts. Hey, Rick, welcome to the show.
Yeah, we have an older dog. She's 21. And I do all the work because my wife loves the dog, loves the cat. I mean, it's a cat. She's 21, and she's taking 4 medications for her health: kidney, probiotic, and this and that.
Sure.
But she only eats half her food. I give her a batch of food, and she only eats half of it. This is all good quality wet cat food.
What's her weight like? Is she heavy, skinny?
Skinny and 7. And
okay.
She used to eat all her food.
Okay.
Now she eats about half of it. And I have to sort of keep touching it up. I add a little tuna water, heat it up.
How old did you say she was?
21.
21 years old. Okay, at 21 years
how
old.
long she'll live. She's probably on her 8th life or whatever it is.
Yeah, but anyway, at 21 years old, things change. Things smell different. Things taste different. Things look different. So if she's eating her food, she's under the care of a veterinarian. I'm going to send you something called Kitty Lickies. Kitty Lickies is a great product. In fact, I'll be doing a commercial for them in just a few seconds. It's a great product. It's made by Lucy Pets. Try putting that over her food after she's eaten the first half. Put this over the second half that's left over. Mix it in good. Heat it up a little bit. I think that's going to make a difference. Call me back in a week or so and let me know. We're 21. Whatever you're doing right. I'm putting you on hold. Some Kitty Lickies on its way. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Interesting call, but a 21-year-old cat. A lot of people don't realize, and I say it every week, that cats and dogs, as they get older, eat with their nose, not with their mouth. So making it smell good. I know he said it heated it up, and he did a little bit of that, but sometimes something is easy as some Kitty Lickies over the food. I spoke to someone last week. I gave them some doggy lickies for an older dog that wasn't eating, and the dog's gobbling down his food like crazy. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I still have Lucy Pet Food to give away. I got Kitty Lickies. Yes, Kitty Lickies are back. I got Doggy Lickies, my own Hugs and Kisses supplements, my best-selling dog and cat books, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath, Your Dog Needs It. Those T-shirts that say None of My Friends Walk Upright. Calming and recovery products from a great company called acornpets.com. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great ways, great things to make your dogs and cats feel a lot better. Lots of great stuff to give away. Plenty of time for your calls. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Next time, great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. We're going to get you in a minute, Jennifer. Let me shoot over to Mark in Santa Monica and help him out with his rescue dog that bit his wife. We can't have that. Hey, Mark, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Are you there?
I'm here. I feel bad because I just said that the new study says that Santa Monica is the most expensive place in the country.
I know. Warren, I'm going to tell you this. What you said is spot on, and this is part of my call. Our second dog of 15 years, a rescue. We made a huge mistake. The last day we brought him to the vet. This is not why I'm calling, only because you said about Santa Monica. I won't name the hospital we brought him to. It's actually West LA. They charged us over $5,000 for a day and a half of trying to save him, which was, they put all kinds of tubes in him and stuff. We saw him, and we were just... Anyways, you're right about that. So what you said, you're right on. But that's not why I'm calling you. We got this rescue October of this year, 2 months ago, a little less than 2 months. He's the most loving dog. He's a terrier mix, but we have a problem with him. We think we figured him out, and this is what I'd like to ask you. He's bit my wife 4 times. He's bit me 3 times, and we think it's because he gets startled. He must have had some traumas in his life before. Like, for example, one time he'll be sleeping, it's dark, and she went down to pet him, and he just snapped up and bit her. Another time I was trying to weigh him. I'm holding him in my hands, and he started feeling uncomfortable, and he bit me. Another time she tried to take some twigs out of his paws because there's a lot of those burrs here, as you know, in Santa Monica, and he didn't like it, and then he bit her.
Let me ask you a question, okay?
He snaps. Yeah, go.
The bites, is it a quick bite or is it multiple bites? Does he bite and hold on? Does he bite and let go?
No, he doesn't hold on. It's a quick snap.
That's a startled bite. That's the type of bite from a dog that has either been abused, startled by humans or other dogs or whatever. Now, he is a rescue dog. I'm sorry if I didn't catch you. How old did you say he was?
He's I didn't say 3.5.
And how long have you had him?
A little less, October, November, about 2 months.
Okay.
We're figuring him out. We're not going to give him back. So
of course you're not. Of course you're not. And what type of dog is it again? What type of dog is it?
He's a terrier mix. We did a DNA. He's got like 10 different breeds, including a Chihuahua in him, which is ridiculous. He's a terrier mix.
Okay, couple
about
of things.
18 pounds.
Couple things right off. Couple things right. Yeah, I heard a couple of things right off the bat. We don't have an aggressive dog here. Okay, a lot of people. Well, the dog bites. No, it's not an aggressive dog.
No.
It sounds to me that what your dog is doing is what I would call survival, fear biting, however you want to describe it. It's when he's startled. And there's a couple of things that you can do. Many times over the years, when I was working with dogs like this, and I worked with some dogs, I took a bunch of dogs years ago out of New Jersey dog fighting ring, and it took me a year to get these dogs around. But what I did is I used a flashlight, a high-intensity flashlight. You might be saying, Warren, you're crazy. What is a flashlight going to do? It prevented me from startling the dog. So before I approached the dog, for the first couple of months, I would just give him a shot of the flashlight, which would wake him up and get his mind realizing that there's nothing to be fearful at that moment before I approached him. Little by little, I was able to remove the flashlight and just use my voice, "Hey, guy, it's me." And eventually he came around, was adopted, and had a great life.
That's wonderful. I think that's what we came to the conclusion. He's startled, and he must have had some trauma. But on the other hand, he's the most loving dog. And inside, he'll lay across, he'll plop down, he wants to be petted. One more thing. When we take him outside, I'm getting better with him. I'm training him, I think, fairly well. He goes crazy over some dogs, and he'll start screaming, and you would think that someone is killing somebody on the street. He's so loud, and he actually got out of his previous harness once and tried to attack a dog, so we have a better harness now.
I have a gut. Here's my gut. Let me give you a gut feeling, okay? My gut feelings are usually pretty much on target. I believe, I don't care what they tell you, I believe that this dog lived with other dogs.
Yeah, probably.
And I believe I believe that a lot of the reaction he's giving is a reaction that would be towards other dogs, not towards necessarily a person, but there's no other dogs there, so his reaction is towards you. But number one is, at least and you've only had him a short time, for at least the next few months, try the flashlight. You can use your voice before you approach him. You need to make sure. And in terms of him being aggressive, who knows how he was handled by people before you? When they grabbed his paws, did they clip his nails? Did it really hurt? Is that why he bit your wife when she went to take the burrs out of his feet? Little by little, he will come around. I'm not dealing with Cujo here. I just want you to be cautious, conscientious, and really build up his confidence a little bit. I think we need some confidence building a little bit. The fact that what you told me he was doing on the streets is indicative to me of a dog that was probably around other dogs that were kind of going after him, and his reaction towards your wife and you was a reaction that was more towards another dog, but there was no other dog there. His reaction was towards you. Not going to happen overnight. If you want to find a behaviorist in Santa Monica, probably going to cost you your house. you could
I think your advice is what we're coming to that conclusion. He just gets startled. He must have had some real trauma when he was sleeping or picking him up, whatever. So we're gonna. Don't worry, this dog is not going back to a rescue.
Mark, well, of course not. Yeah, and listen, you call me every week about, Mark, I'm going to send you a copy of my book, How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. But let me tell you something.
Oh, beautiful.
I just left Santa Monica the other day. And of all the things I had to bring back from Santa Monica, I love Santa Monica, lived there for 30 years. Of all the things I had to bring back, you know where my wife, Denise, made me stop?
No.
Tehran Market.
Where is it from?
On Wilshire Boulevard, Tehran Market, because she loves. And we brought back hummus. We brought back hummus for everyone, and everyone's thanking me, thank you for the hummus. And they say, "Well, you're so lucky. I don't eat hummus."
Okay. So that's on about 11th Street or something.
11th and Wilshire. Yeah, 11th and Wilshire. So you can go right from there to DK Donuts on Santa Monica Boulevard and send me a dozen. All right.
Yeah. Next time you're in Santa Monica, call me. We'd love to see if you have.
You're on my way, Mark. Listen, don't go in. I'm going to put you on hold. Okay. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up, and we're going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. True story. I must have brought back 15 pounds of hummus from Santa Monica. I was happy with the donuts, but Denise wanted the hummus. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I might have to put you on hold. I'm going to get to you. I'm going to get to you in a second, Dennis. I'll go to Jennifer first, and then we're going to go to Phil, and then Dennis, you'll be next. So, Jennifer, Glendale, what can I do for you?
Hi there. I have a male and female cat.
Only two kinds I know of.
Yeah. The first was adopted at 9 months old, the female, and then a few weeks later, we figured she needed a friend, so we adopted a male at 3 months old. They're 8-ish, going on 9 this year, and the male is very food motivated and always interested in anything he can get to his little paws on. I try to make sure that the female gets, her food, and that the male cat doesn't try to eat it. I mean, he tries, but I keep them separated and make sure that she eats as much as she wants. And but the last couple years, they're usually very I would say bonded, because they constantly sleep together, they cuddle and everything. They seem happy most of the time, but in the mornings, I feed them wet food morning and night, and then they get some dry food throughout the day. The female cat has started being very aggressive in the morning before I feed them. So, like, even though she knows, I think, that food is coming that I'm preparing, she goes and starts kind of attacking and being aggressive to the point to the male cat is, like, hissing, and she's, like, literally, like, biting him. They're not, like, fighting fiercely, but she's getting aggressive with him. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what...
Well, if you were eating spinach all day, and in the morning you got the special food, you got the pie in the morning, you're going to be a little more aggressive. That's when you give them the canned food is in the morning, correct?
Correct.
Okay, let's try this. Let's try, before you even let them out of the room, put down 4 dishes, not more food, 4 dishes. Spread them around, maybe a foot or 2 apart. Once the female cat starts realizing there's no need to be assertive for this great food that we're getting, there's food over there and there's food over there, this aggressive behavior will stop. It's a matter of dominance right now over the food. That's the time that the food smells the best. That's the time that they're the hungriest, is in the morning. So even though you give them dry food all day long, it's their Pop-Tart in the morning. It's like me. It's their Pop-Tart in the morning. They're excited over that food, causing that assertive behavior. So several different dishes spread throughout the room may resolve that issue for you. We'll go further if we have to. I think that's really a good start at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, don't go anywhere. I'm also going to do this. You know what? I'm going to do a commercial right now for Kitty Lickies, but I'm going to send you some Kitty Lickies just back in stock. What I want you to do is take some of the Kitty Lickies and put it over both of their food in the morning. And this way, she'll be more, because of the smell, she'll be more aggressive to go over to that first dish that you put it in. So give it a shot. Give me a call back. Don't go anywhere. You get some Lucy Kitty Lickies on their way to you. Man, I'm breaking a sweat here today. I must be hot. By the way, it's going to be in the 80s in Arizona. What's with the weather here in Arizona? It's going to be in the 80s this week. 866-870-KRLA. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, Phil, you'll be up next. I'm going to go to Dennis in Castaic. Dennis, I definitely want to get to your call. I got an open line or two, pretty rare here. So if you have a question or a comment, want to talk to me, have an opinion in terms of why so many dogs are winding up with behavioral issues at the shelter, or why it's so expensive to have a dog in Santa Monica, even more expensive than San Francisco. You know where you got to move? The least expensive cities? Oklahoma, Lexington, Kentucky, or El Paso, Texas. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I know you're excited. They're back. Kitty Lickies are back. We are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. We got plenty of time. We got a whole hour to go. Plenty of time for your questions. I know it's hard to get through sometimes, so everything about today's show is your questions and your comments. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away as well. Well, the question of the day, I should have trusted that. Has anyone out there ever been outsmarted by their dog or cat? My dogs hustle me all the time. Hustle me all the time. Have you ever been outsmarted by a dog? Give me a call. I'll send you a great gift. By the way, if you want ask a question on YouTube, you can go to my YouTube. We're broadcasting live on YouTube as well. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me go to Phil first. Dennis, I'm going to get to you. It may not be right now, but I'm going to get to you. I know you called last week. I don't want you to hang on forever, but let me go to Phil in Long Beach. Hey, Phil, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Warren?
I'm doing okay, Phil. What's up?
Originally a Santa Monica boy, now in Long Beach. Just can't afford to live in the Soviet Republic. My wife brought home 2 cats. This is about 4 years ago. They're a bonded pair. One is like a tabby Mancoon. The other is like a turtle gray. She's about 7-8 pounds. A couple of years later, my daughter moved back in with us. She brought in her 2 cats. The Mancoon, he gets along with everybody pretty much, but the little cat we have to keep separated because if the other ones get near her, she gets very aggressive.
Okay, now, how many are in the house altogether? I'm a little confused.
There's 4 cats and 1 dog.
4 cats and 1 dog. And it's the one cat that's being the aggressive cat?
Yes. The smallest of the 4.
Where do they sleep?
The 2 sleep, 2 of them sleep around the house. The other 2 generally sleep in our room.
Okay. What I'd like you to do is take the bed of the small cat that's being aggressive, and I want you to take that, and I want you to rub it all over the areas where the other cats stay. Then I want you to give that bed back to the aggressive cat. And the reason I'm doing that is aggression is usually brought on by scent when it comes to cats, scent and body language. So by bringing the scent into a situation where your cat, the smaller cat, the younger cat, the aggressive cat, is able to be around the scent of the other cats without any threat of them because it's on her bed and she's away from them, little by little, that may start to build up her self-confidence. The aggressive behavior you just described to me is not really aggressive or vicious behavior. The type of behavior you're describing to me is more of a protective behavior. And so that's the type of behavior that the more time they spend within the scent or with the scent of what they're fearful of, the quicker that will resolve itself. Now, it's a little bit more difficult in your situation based on the fact there's all these cats and all these dogs. The other thing I would do is if there's other people in the family, little by little, have one person hold the younger cat, the smaller cat, another person hold another cat, sit on opposite ends of a room, end on a positive note. That's enough for that day. Also, if there's another cat, like she gets along with the Maine Coon cat, what I want you to do is put them in a room with all these paper bags and cardboard boxes around. Let them be in the same room together, but let them focus on all these new things. Again, distraction could be the resolution. This is not a big problem to resolve, but the fact that it's been going on for a while is going to take a little bit of time to reestablish the confidence in the younger cat that's being aggressive. I say younger, the smaller cat that's being aggressive with the other cats. Definitely resolvable situation.
Okay. And yes, I've been outsmarted by my dog. I used to have a Queensland healer. This dog was so smart, he would walk around the neighborhood with the other dogs. He learned how to get out of an 8-foot fence.
Yeah, you know, Queensland Healers, I had the opportunity of working with them overseas. Just amazing breed of dog. A lot of those herding dogs, Australian Shepherds, Border Collies, just amazing breeds. Catahoulas, just amazing breeds. Anyway, listen, Phil, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you, what am I sending Phil? I am going to send you, Phil, you know what? What do I want to send Phil? You know what? I'm going to send you calming. Well, do your cats wear collars? I don't know if they wear collars or not. So, but I'm going to send you a calming disc for your cats as well. Put it around the area where the aggressive cat is. See if it doesn't make a difference. For my good friends over at Acorn Pet Products, a calming disc. It's all natural. Put it around. It may be exactly what your cat needs. Let me do this. I'm going to have to take a quick break. Dennis, when we get back, I'm going to get to you. If I don't get to you, I'm going to get to you first thing next. But I want to talk to you. But I do have some open lines, so it's a great time to call me. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-KRLA. 870-5752. So let me toss this question out to you guys before I take this commercial break. When I opened today's show, I sounded a little aggressive. I sounded a little mean, and I was angry. I'm very angry at the millions of dogs in shelters all across the country. So let me toss this out. Do you think that more can be done? More can be done to find more homes? I think more can be done, or better evaluations can be done. Do you think it's fair to evaluate a dog when a dog is incarcerated at a shelter? I mean, some of the shelters are great. They bring the dogs out, but what about the ones that don't? I just saw, just this morning, a 17-year-old dog, beautiful dog, that's deaf. I think it's a Riverside shelter. 17 or 16, that's deaf. The guardians passed away, and the family brought a 17-year-old deaf dog to the shelter. This is what I wake up to every morning. This is what gets me PO'd every single day. How could the family do that? I don't get it. Give me a call. Let me know what you think. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. We are back on the Pet Show. We're going to break for the top of the hour. Dennis, just for a couple of minutes. You'll be my first call out. Plenty of time to resolve your issues. Two adopted dogs from a shelter. Definitely want to get to you. Got some open lines. We have a whole other hour to go. Plenty of time to answer your questions. I got lots of great stuff to give away. I love to hear from some people who were at shelters and saw dogs that were considered or they considered aggressive, or may have adopted a dog that was considered aggressive. I want to hear from you guys as well. Plenty of time for your calls. The question of the day is, have you ever been outsmarted by your pets? And I'm going to have plenty of time to answer your questions. There's some things I want to go over with you guys about socialization and the concept of inconsistent training. So we'll break for the top of the hour. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to all your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein, and you're listening to The Pet Show. If you love your dogs and cats, want to find out why they behave the way they do, maybe want to resolve any issues they may be having with you or you may be having with them, just want to find out more about the way your dogs and cats think or how to resolve issues like jumping and humping and digging and scratching, not using a litter box, great time to give me a call. If you happen to be new to The Pet Show, show's a little different today, but if you happen to be new to the show, everyone that does call into the show and get to talk to me live, almost everyone, if I like you, gets a great gift for their dog or cat. A lot of the items I give away, not biscuits, they're worth $35, $40, or even $50. So if you have a question or a comment, want to share a great story about your dog or cat, or talk, and this is real important. I've been speaking to a lot of people since the fires in terms of those lucky enough to have been reunited with their dogs and their cats had certain behavioral issues that they noticed, some changes since the fires, some changes in their pets, and I've been kind of guiding them a little bit. So if you have a dog or cat that maybe their behavior has changed, it may be because your behaviors change as well. And if you have a question or comment about that, great time to give me a call. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. If you're a numbers person, that's 866-870-5752. Plenty of time to take your calls. I'd love to hear from some people also when they went to get their dog from a shelter. Were they given the right information about their dog? I want to hear from you guys as well. The question of the day is, how have you ever been outsmarted by your dog or your cat? You know you have. I've been give you an example. Well, you know what? I'm going to go to Dennis, then I'll give you an example of how my dog's outsmarted me. Great time to call me. Have some open lines. Pretty rare here on the Pet Show. 866-870-5752. Has anyone out there noticed any changes in their dog or cat's behavior since the fires? I'd love to hear from you guys. Your response to me may be exactly what one of my listeners needs to hear as well. Again, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let's go to my friend Dennis in Castaic. Hi, Dennis. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Warren.
Thank you for being. I really appreciate your patience, Dennis. What can I do to help you out?
Well, I just wanted to encourage people. About 3 weeks ago, I put my last of 4 senior dogs to rest. I mean, we had the fires out here, and I got evacuated. And then I came back, and I go, I need dogs. So I went to the shelter, and I found a beautiful 2-year-old female and one of her siblings, 1-year-old, miniature schnauzers, and I took them home, and boy, are they smart.
Bless you for that. How old are they? How old are they, Dennis?
The mother is 2 and the daughter is 1. They're dealing with some kennel cough and all the extra other stuff, but they'll be fine. They're just the lovingest, smartest little babies. People go out there and get these animals. They're beautiful.
You know, that's what I don't understand. You know, there is so many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful dogs and cats for adoption. If people just had the opportunity to see them in the proper light, it can make all the difference in the world. Sometimes they walk past the kennel and the dog's around all these other dogs and the craziness and the sounds and they're barking, so they bypass that dog and go to the next kennel, when in turn that dog that's barking could probably turn out to be Benji or Boomer or the most mellow dog they've ever had. So bless you for taking these 2 mini schnauzers in. Great breed of dog, by the way.
They just went for their first walk today, and they did fantastic.
Ah, great. Do you know, did they give you any background on the dogs at all?
They really, that's the weird thing. They didn't give me any background because they're right now they're finishing up treatment for being bit by ticks, kennel cough, and worms. So I'm assuming they picked them up off the street or something but they're just beautiful, loving little sweethearts. They're already trained in giving kisses.
You're ahead of the game. So what could your question possibly be for me?
Oh, well, I really didn't have any question for you.
Oh, great. Yeah, I prefer that. So let me
encourage people to go out to shelters and get these beautiful babies. They're wonderful.
You know, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating to me how many dogs and how many cats are just They don't like what I'm saying, I guess. How amazing dogs and cats, and so many of them are available to shelters and rescues all across the country, and yet, for some reason, still millions of dogs and cats are being killed every year. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We all know about spaying and neutering. We all know the benefits of spaying and neutering. We know the benefits of educating your dogs and cats. So why do you think so many dogs are winding up at shelters, Dennis?
I think that people get these dogs and they think they come trained, or they get one dog and then they work all day so it doesn't have a companion. You got to think with your head with these animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you think that some people that go to the shelter, maybe they adopt, and this is what I don't get. They'll adopt, and I get this all the time. We adopted a dog 3 days ago, but didn't work out. We brought him back. How in 3 days do you expect to evaluate the dog? You have to give the dog time to decompress, to realize life is new, and it's just unbelievable that so many dogs, and it breaks my heart every single day. And yeah, maybe I'm a little bit more in tune than most people because I'm devastated 24/7. I'm going to bring my wife Denise on soon, not today, but one day, and just to let her talk to you guys about what it's like when she wakes up a little bit later than I do. I told you I'm up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning hanging out with the coyotes. But I have just seen and heard the horror stories, and for how many years? And is it getting better? Yeah, it's getting better. But I think what's scaring me more than anything else is the number. And I served as a behaviorist for many of the largest shelters. I still serve on the board of directors for the oldest no-kill shelter in the country called Bidewee Home, based in New York City, West Hampton, and Wantagh, Long Island. And it's incredible to me how many dogs and cats are being euthanized that are incredibly great pets. Yet, if you go online and you look at all these trainers and behaviors talking online, they're all demonstrating with Malinois and Shepherds and Rottweilers and Dobermans and this dog and that dog. I want to see what I've done, and this is what I've done for years. And I don't want to sound egotistical, but maybe I do. Whenever I brought a dog on a TV show, whether it be The Tonight Show, The Letterman Show, Regis and Kathy Lita Today, it doesn't make any difference. And I was demonstrating training with the dog. I always brought on a dog that I just took out from the shelter, either the night before or that morning. Because for me to bring on a dog that's already trained is false advertising to people. I got to show them what they're going to go through, what they're going to need to know, how they're going to need to approach it. They're not going to be adopting Rin Tin Tin. So there's going to be some changes that they're going to have to go through. But if they don't prepare them at the shelter for that, then the dog's going to wind up back at the shelter. 1 home, 2 homes, 3 homes, then no homes. You know this story. But what a wonderful thing you've done, going to the shelter, and what a legacy you left for the dog you had to say goodbye to adopting these 2 little schnauzers. What are their names?
Zelda and Zoe.
Zelda and Zoe. I love their names, by the way. Just the names that people give. What you did exactly the right thing.
They're still trying to learn them. Zoe's pretty quick at it.
What, in terms of learning their names?
Yeah.
Oh, so they didn't even have names when you got them.
Well, they had names, but I think it was just that the shelter had given them.
Yeah.
Animal shelter, so they didn't know anything. I really know nothing about them except for that they're smart and they're very loving, and I'm here to absorb it.
So let me ask you a question. Okay, you went to the shelter looking to adopt dogs, right? What kind of guidance did you get from the shelter personnel?
What kind of what?
Guidance did they give you when you were looking at the dogs?
It was really, I didn't have any guidance. I just went in and started looking at animals, and I wanted to take them all. And I found these two, and they were wagging their tails. And I've always had a history of having 3 or 4 dogs, generally on the smaller side. And so they came up to me, and I just told them I'll take them.
Let me toss this out to my listeners, and please respond. 866-870-KRLA. Please respond. Do you think it would be a good idea if shelters had maybe ambassadors or people that knew a lot of the animals at the shelter and were able to take someone like you around and say, well, this is the background on this dog? If they know it, they don't always know it. God bless. I give them a lot of credit for that. But don't you think having an ambassador or someone that can explain to you what you're going to go through, what changes you may see? No one told you anything about these dogs or what to expect when you took them home?
No.
See, that's what's missing.
That would be fantastic if they did.
That's what's missing.
Remember,
go ahead.
They're in a different environment, and once you take them out of that, these dogs are so grateful that I took them. It's unbelievable.
Well, what happens is they go from, we don't know the background, what kind of home they came from, but somehow they wound up there. And when dogs at a shelter, the noises of the shelter, the banging of the barking of the dogs, the people going by and blah, 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 all of that is very, very stressful. So when people go to a shelter and they look at a dog at the kennel, they might see what looks like an aggressive dog in the kennel, but if someone who works there who has a little background in behavior and knows some of the dogs, again, believe me, I understand a lot of dogs come in, they have no background whatsoever, but there are a lot of dogs that have background. So an ambassador, I think it would be a great, does anyone else agree with me? I think an ambassador or someone that can kind of walk people through. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I was doing a broadcast from, oh God, come on, Warren, from Oxnard, from a shelter in Oxnard. My good friend Joy was there. She arranged the whole thing, and it was a kind of an adoption day, a big adoption day in Ventura. And it's just amazing to me that a couple of people in it. Joy, if you want to call and tell a story how we found a dog that was unadoptable, we found the right home for that dog, feel free to do that. But basically, if someone were there and someone were able to explain, I know, for example, that there was someone that wanted to adopt a dog that was there. And I don't remember the exact story, and I know Joy's listening somewhere. I don't remember the exact story, but I know that Joy and her friend Gabrielle asked me to evaluate the dog because these people wanted the dog, and I evaluated the dog. And perhaps that evaluation, if it had not been done, this dog never would have found a home. And I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe the dog is still happily living with these people that adopted the dog because Ego Asano was able to evaluate the dog and let them know that this wasn't a problem dog. It might be a dog with some issues based on what it was going through. So just an amazing story, Dennis, and so glad that you were able to get these two guys. Not only did you fulfill their life, but I'm sure that they fulfilled yours, and just a great, great story. So let's get them started on the right track. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you some Lucy pet food to get them on the right food right from the beginning. Whatever your food you have them now, kind of gradually make the changeover, make all the difference in the world. What a great, you know what? I love you guys are amazing. Not only here in Los Angeles, but you all know that when I get off the air, I do my national Canadian show on Forces Radio. It goes all over the place. But people, we're a group of people. We are animal lovers are a special group of people. And when people say to me, and I know you guys get it all the time, oh, you love animals more than you love people, I don't argue with them. Sometimes I just turn to them and say, you know what? People like me, people that are in the field of animals and work with animals and rescue animals, they have big hearts, bigger than yours, big enough to love people and help people, and at the same time love animals and help animals. You don't have to make a decision that you love animals more than you love people, or you love people more than you love animals. You can love them both. Believe me, I know. 866-870-KRLA. Got a bunch of open lines. Great time to give me a call. I know people are crazy out there. I got lots of great stuff to give away. If anyone wants to comment on whether they think having ambassadors maybe at shelters would be a good idea, or more can be done at shelters. And believe me, I'm not knocking the shelters. The people that work at some of these shelters are absolutely amazing. I worked at shelters all through junior high school and high school. Amazing people. But sometimes you need to make changes, and I don't necessarily see a lot of changes being made on a regular basis in a lot of different areas. And here's a perfect example. Well, you know what? Let me take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about this. Brian, hello, Brian. Brian's saying me hi from beautiful Waddell, Arizona. By the way, they just built this great new mall down there. I was down there recently having some Hawaiian food right off the 303. So maybe Brian one day will stop by. We'll say hello and we'll have lunch together. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. I still have Lucy Pet Food. I got my hugs and kisses. I got some hugs and kisses. I haven't given any away today. Hugs and kisses, copies of my books, either dog or cat. I also have Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. If you don't use it, don't blame me. You want to make your dog more kissable, go to Amazon.com, check out Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. I got air horns to give away, T-shirts, herbal flea spray, calming and recovery products. So everyone that gives me a call will get a great gift for their dog or cat. And as I said, many of the items I give away worth as much as $20, $30, $40, or even $50. So the phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get to a quick break, then right back at you. Great time to give me a call. Got some open lines. Some great stuff to give away. I want to hear from people that may have seen or noticed any changes in their pet's behavior. I was speaking to someone last week who had noticed some changes in their dog's behavior, and they were kind of a little upset about it. And they spoke to some people in the field of behavior, and they said, "Well, this is what you got to do. This is what you have to do." The dog's going. Explain something to everybody. If you are stressed out, if you are suffering with anxiety, if you're blue, if you're depressed, does anyone out there think that it's not going to affect your dog or your cat's behavior? Of course it is. You know, one of the things I spend the majority of my time on is helping people that have rescued, adopted, took dogs off the streets. And the one thing that I found that makes all the difference in the world is that when a person adopts a dog or rescues a dog, they understand the concept of commitment. They understand, and I wrote this week, and I'll share it with you, okay? Many rescue dogs have been in really, really challenging situations. I don't want to get into the details, but I can go through my career and talk about dog fighting and abuse and just horrible, horrible stuff. But many rescue pets, even on a minor level, have been through some very challenging situations. People shouting, abusing them, anger, fighting amongst the humans. And when you get the dog home, very often the dog has some time or has not had enough time to decompress, or the dog may be going through some challenges themselves. And then the new person who adopted the dog very often gets angry at the dog. Or first, why did I adopt this dog? He peed on the floor. The cat scratched I'm bringing him right back. That's not fair. That's not fair. Always, when a new pet comes into your home, it's imperative to keep a calm and quiet mood around the new pet. Speaking softly, speaking gently, to help them understand that there is no reason to be scared anymore. The abuse, those bad people, those horrible people, they're gone. It is absolutely vital to nurture a peaceful environment for that new dog or cat to settle in. I preach this all the time. When I was doing a lot of TV, I preached on TV. And very often what I would do is take a dog right out of his shelter and bring him on the air for a couple of reasons. Number one, to let people know that this dog that looks this way right now, in a week from now, with some socialization and calming, is going to be an entirely different dog. An entirely different dog. And it breaks my heart. I don't want to get too sentimental here, but it breaks my heart when I do my national show and people say, well, I took this dog out. He was just ready to be killed at this shelter. I took this. Why? Why? Why are we so quick to judge the behavior of dogs and cats that have been through hell? That have been through hell. In many cases, even worse. Why? I'll never get it. I'll never accept it. I'll never buy it. Okay? As long as I have this microphone, and even if this microphone's taken away from me, I'll be preaching the same thing I preached all the time. You treat them properly, you socialize them, you educate them, and you let them know how much they're loved. And that's exactly what you're going to get. Thank you. My friend Pam Scholler just jotted down. And we're talking about PTSD. I talked about that last week. Lots of times when dogs come out of shelters and cats are coming out of shelters, they do have PTSD. And some people, oh, Warren, you're crazy, PTSD. Listen, I've trained enough dogs for veterans that have had PTSD. I know a little bit about PTSD. But more than that, I know about PTSD with animals. And so many animals that suffer with PTSD need some time, some patience, some love. And they will come around. Why? Why the millions of dogs being euthanized every year? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And never will. And as long as you guys listen to me and as long as you guys follow me, I got to be honest with you. I'm never going to change. People follow me, what? I've been on the air for 45. I never change. This is who you're going to get. This is what I believe. I believe that animals really deserve a lot more than we give them. I know what you're saying, but I spoil my dog and I take him to the vet and I feel, sure you do. Sure you do. But that's your dog. That's your dog. Someone like myself or my friend Pam or Joy or anyone out there in animal rescue, and there's many people listening in animal rescue, you look in the eyes. You see what's behind those eyes. You see the abuse. You see the fear. You can feel it. I felt it for all these years. So let's make some changes. Let's make some changes. Let's do better. I'm with you. Let's all get together and do better so that these dogs and these cats have a shot. Might not like what I'm saying, but I'm saying it. And I've been saying it, and I'll continue saying it. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break, and then we'll come back to Linda and Paul. We'll get to your calls, I promise. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Speaking. Quick break. I want to tell you about my friends over at Delta. And let me tell you, it's cool to be a cat. We are back on the Pet Show. Did you know that less than half of pet guardians have the money to deal with medical emergencies? Less than half. Just before I get to you, Linda, and I get to you, Paul, Denise and I were driving back from Los Angeles. And I always take this back route, and I go through these little towns in Arizona. I get off the freeway as much as I can, and I'm a back road kind of guy. And we're having this long conversation. So Denise says, well, she always asks me about some of the experiences I've had, both my military and both with police departments and the training years. And she was saying to me, Warren, what was one of the most unusual training situations you ever had? Well, I responded. I think Denise was a little taken back. It's not easy living with Warren. And it was when I trained dogs for dead people. And she looked at me and said, okay, Warren, what are you smoking? What do you mean? You train dogs for dead people? A lot of my Southern California people here lived in New York. So, as you come out of the Midtown Tunnel onto the Long Island Expressway, on the right-hand side is a humongous Catholic cemetery with incredible, I don't even know what to call them, statues and mausoleums and just the most, a lot of mobsters buried there, a lot of very important people buried there, but these big mausoleums, beautiful. I got a call from the head of the cemetery, and he said, Warren, we need guard dogs for the cemetery. I was saying to myself, I've been doing this for a long time. Why would you need guard dogs at a cemetery? Why would you need dogs at a cemetery? I sat down, I met with the guy a couple of weeks later, and he explained to me that people were breaking into the cemetery at night and breaking into the mausoleums and stealing gold out of teeth. And as I said, it was very, I don't know what the right word is. I'm not the most, vocabulary is not always the best. The statues, the gold cups, and the things people put in when they buried their loved ones were being stolen. Were being stolen from a cemetery. How do you put your head on a bed at night when you're stealing stuff from a cemetery? So yes, of all the training I've done, and I'm not going to get into details of a lot of it, but the most unusual case was having to train guard dogs to protect people that had already passed away. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's get back to the phone lines here. Let's go to my friend, Linda. Let's get off my subject. Let me calm down a little bit. Linda in L.A. Hi, Linda. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hi, Warren. Thank you.
What can I do for you, Linda?
All right. Well, the end of summer, 2 little black kittens appeared on my fence, and I'm such a softie. I love kitties, so I ended up adopting them. So I'm thinking they're about 6 months old. Sisters, 1 long hair, 1 short hair, coal black. Okay, my little short hair, she is really starting to, what I would just say, for lack of a better term, obsessively groom herself and also scratch. So I'm just reaching out. I don't know if it's her skin or what.
Well, yeah, it could be that, but it could also be the fact that they're in a comfortable situation now, and cats have scent glands on the bottom of their feet. So a lot of the scratching could be putting scent around now that they're in a home and marking territory that way. That could be part of it. It could also be that there's something. Yeah, it could be that there's something with the skin. Have they been to a vet yet?
Oh yes, they're got shots, and they have had their neutering, so they're all good with that.
Okay, so in terms,
they're about 6 months old.
Okay, but in terms of excessive grooming is generally due to anxiety, boredom. That's why I asked if the vet has given them a check and there's no parasites, there's no fleas and ticks and things like that. Maybe it's just that their skin is dry. Maybe it's just a nervous reaction. You know how with some people, when a cat grooms themselves, it's a way of relieving anxiety. The first thing a mother does when a litter of kittens is born is lick them and kind of calm them down that way. So there's a lot of things that may be going on and maybe a calming effect. What I would try to do right now, though, is not focus on correcting the cat for the compulsive behavior, but distracting the compulsive behavior. Because if the cat is reacting compulsively because of anxiety or stress, then trying to correct it is just going to cause more anxiety or more stress. By distracting her can make all the difference in the world. And that's where you hear me talk about the paper bags, the cardboard boxes, and changing them every day, and growing organic plants, organic catnip, and other things as well. How are they doing with the litter box?
Great.
So, because they were, we don't know how long they were outside, right?
I would guess they were about 8 weeks old when they appeared on my fence.
They were that young.
8 or 9. They were independent, but they were small, and it took me a few weeks to win them over.
Yeah.
So.
But in terms of the scratching. But in terms of the scratching, I want you to use a lot of the distraction therapy you heard me talk about, the cardboard boxes, the paper bags, all of those things as well. Very often what happens when you have a dog or a cat that's displaying obsessive compulsive behavior, it drives the guardian crazy. It drives people crazy. So they're constantly, stop it, don't, which is just making the cat more nervous and more anxious, creating more compulsive behavior on their part.
Okay.
Follow my advice.
I haven't done that because
Good.
I'm not really bothered by it for me. I was just concerned for her.
Of course, you're such a lovely lady, Linda. I adore you already. I can tell right off you.
Could I make one comment about the shelter situation?
You can make 100. You can make 100 comments. It's all yours.
Okay. Well, when I got these kittens, I hadn't had a kitten for 11 years. Our youngest cat is 11 before these kitties. So I hadn't had to call a vet and call about getting them, their operation. Okay, I was in absolute shock. I called 3 or 4 veterinarians, $800 to $1,200 for that operation.
Yeah.
I was like in shock because the last time I paid, it couldn't have been more than $200. So I guess I don't know what your take is on that, but
yeah, I'll give you my take. I'll give you my take on that.
Okay.
I kind of understand the vets have to charge a lot more money nowadays based on the fact that the equipment's more expensive, the medication's more expensive, the rent is more. However, when it comes to spaying and neutering, that's above and beyond. Okay?
I agree.
That's why you hear me talk about my friend Joey Herrick and Lucy Pett. That's why they have free spaying and neutering from time to time. There are so many organizations out there, Fix Nation and other groups out there that have low-cost spaying and neutering. That's why we're so lucky to be here in L.A. So there are options out there for you. I'm not going to knock the vets for what they charge. They can charge whatever they want to charge. And interestingly enough, a lot has to do with real estate as well, because I'll give you an example. What I pay for my veterinary care, my dog's veterinary care, here in Arizona now, is about half the price of what I paid for the same thing in Southern California. So I would contact some of the rescue. That's why I say donate to groups like Rescue Me Inc. Donate to groups like that. The Lucy Pet Foundation. They have their own foundation. Donate to those groups. Those are the groups that do the spaying and neutering that really get it out there. And what a great call, by the way, Linda. You know what? I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Bless you for taking these pets in. Let me take a quick break here. I'll get back to, we'll get to you, Paul, my friend Paul in Englishtown, New Jersey. God, New Jersey. God, you know what I miss most about New Jersey? Diners. I think that's it, diners. I think I miss diners. Unhealthy food, that's what I miss. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show. Just knock it off. We all know that my dog's better than your dog. Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Just before we get to you, Paul, let me do this. If you're not following my YouTube channel, we're going to be expanding it, so you should subscribe. It's absolutely free. I share a lot of information, a lot of tips there. There's some long videos, short videos, videos from years ago with Letterman. Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Legitimately, we're going to be really increasing that, doing some TV stuff there. So subscribe to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You know, mindfulness and present moment awareness. Dogs are experts at living in the moment. Spending time with them encourages us to appreciate the present, helping to alleviate worries about the past and the future. So anytime I'm stressed out about things, I sit down with Molly and Willie. Maybe next week I'll bring Molly and Willie to do the show with me. I'll bring Molly and Willie up here to my studio in my house, and you'll see how they calm me down. They just do. They make me feel like I'm in the moment, because I can be a little crazy sometimes, believe it or not. Hey, Paul, welcome to the show, Paul.
I'm good, Warren. How are you? Long time.
Raceway Park, Englishtown, New Jersey.
Yeah. It's now no longer a drag strip. It's gone.
This was the wild days of Warren when I was a little bit younger. I had a 1970 Duster. I used to take the mufflers off of it, go down to Englishtown, New Jersey, and drag race it. Lost every time, But had a good time doing it. Had a great time doing it. Anyway, Paul, what can I do for you in Jersey today?
Okay, we'd say you're looking at a family that rescued everything we had. At one time, we had a maximum of 3 dogs and 4 cats. We're now down to 1 dog. Our guy, Rhett, he keeps getting... I don't want to say ear infections. We have medication that we're giving. I'm just looking for any other suggestions. My daughter.
Yeah. What type of ears? I know he has 2 of them, but are they up ears or down ears?
Down ears.
Okay, down ears. Moisture stays in down ears. Yeast and stuff. So it's very common for a Labrador or other dogs that have down ears to occasionally or constantly get those. So what I generally recommend is to take like a cotton ball with a little drop of mineral oil. There's stuff you can buy right over the counter at Petco, PetSmart, Chewy, whatever, to clean the ears. But you really need to do that, I'm going to say every day. You can do it every other day. I won't hate you. But I would do it as often as possible.
My wife pretty much does that. In fact, it's funny. She'll go, "I'm going to do your ears," and he takes off to the bedroom to hide with me or under the table.
But does she dry them out? Does she dry them out afterwards? And did you speak to the vet about allergies?
Yes, they didn't find anything.
So there's no allergies. So the dog is just constantly getting ear issues. So I would definitely, then you're on target. Your wife with the cotton balls or the stuff that removes makeup and no chemicals. A little mineral oil sometimes works really well. But keeping them clean and keeping them dry is the resolution to preventing those ear things. Unless it could be some dogs it's chronic, but that's probably the best way to approach it.
Yeah. See, my daughter works with this vet at a big vet hospital in New Jersey, so we're very able to get information and bring them in at any time.
Well, you're lucky your daughter works. So why only 1 dog now, Paul?
Well, we're now at the later part of life. I'm 76. My wife is 74. If Rhett goes, because he's now 13 years we've had him, we want to get definitely an older.
I
don't want to go before the dog does.
I was just going to say that, and there's nothing like it. Even if I adopted an Old English sheepdog, not the one I usually talk about. An Old English sheepdog was 16 years old, deaf and blind. I adopted him from the shelter in Wantagh, Long Island. Okay, no one wanted him. They were going to kill him. I went there. I found him. I took him. Whatever. I adopted him. He was just an amazing dog. And even though he only lived for 6 months after I adopted him, it just made me and my first wife, Faye, at the time, feel so good that at least when he crossed the Rainbow Bridge, he knew that someone cared about him, someone loved him. So I'm a strong advocate for senior citizens out there. Forget the puppies, forget the kittens. They'll find homes. Adopt that older dog. Adopt that older cat. Let them at least know love before they cross that Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's how Rhett's not now, the best. Like if we brought in a dog now, so
yeah, no. When you're ready, you'll know when you're ready. Hey, Paul, I got to move on, but I know you call me a lot, Paul. So can I donate your gift?
Absolutely.
You give that dog a hug and give your wife a hug and a kiss, and I really appreciate that phone call. I got the greatest listeners in the world. He probably listened to me for years in a different station in New York as well. All right, let me do this. I got to take a break. Darlene, we'll try to get you when we come back. I know the show is a little different today. You usually have all these topics I talk about, but I just hope that we're able to share and get the feeling and go back and forth. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Let me take a quick break, then we'll get right back at you. Speaking of bragging, let me tell you about my show. Let me see if we can squeeze Darlene in La Habra here. Hey, Darlene, welcome to the show.
Hi. We have a 4-year-old German Shepherd, full blood. She sheds a lot. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask. But she scratches constantly, and we've tried Apoquil. She's currently on a Merrick diet, the dog food, and we've switched over to beef because I heard chicken wasn't good. Flea collars, and I don't know what's causing her to. And
first of all, I would not be using flea collars. Did your veterinarian do an allergy test?
No.
How do we know if the dog has allergies or not?
They said based off of her skin that she doesn't look like she has food allergies. They think it's environmental. So we put her on this the Apoquil, and she takes it, but she still scratches.
Okay.
So I don't know what to do. Or
a couple of things. A couple of things before I don't want to run out of time. Number one is that I'm going to send you a jar of my Hugs and Kisses. That will help with the itching and the shedding an awful lot. I'm surprised that the vets didn't go a little bit further with you. Telling you it's an environmental allergy is a nice way to say it. But what?
Yeah.
What do you do about it? I'll give you an example. We did an allergy test with my German Shepherd years ago. I don't have many more, but we did it with Rio. We found out exactly what in the environment would cause Rio to react. I sat down with my veterinarian. We made up a specific vaccine for Rio. He got it every 2 weeks. I gave it to him myself subcutaneously. Never again did he have an allergy problem. What I would do if I were you, this is no disrespect to your vet, but sometimes it pays to get a second opinion. Go to a veterinary dermatologist, get a second opinion before you make any other decisions.
Okay. Thank you, Warren. Okay.
Don't go around put. Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
That was it. No, and then any suggestions for the shedding?
Yeah, the Hugs and Kisses. I'm sending you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
I'm putting you on hold. The lovely Suzette will pick up. Yeah, Hugs and Kisses has lecithin and biotin. There's nothing better for shedding than that. But I love veterinarians, and I say this almost every week. But sometimes you got to push them a little bit. Get that second opinion. Go to that specialist. May cost more up front, but may save you money in the long run, getting a quicker resolution. We are out of time. If you want to give me a call, the network show starts in 5 minutes. That phone number is 877-725-8255. 877-7255, 725-8255. Till next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, one between the ears from me, and bless you for listening to The Pet Show. Warren Eckstein, and this has been The Pet Show.